Okay guys, so today I am going to bring you my favorite One Piece theory that I had for a while, ever since we found out about what Haki actually is. My theory is that there is such a thing as elemental Haki. Now here's a few samples of what I believe was elemental Haki. First we have Logtown. Buggy was about to kill Luffy and out of nowhere, thunder hit. Then right after that, not only did thunder hit, but you have this gush of green wind that picked up and swooped all the straw hats all around the whole Locktown and put them near the Mary. Every swordsman has the ability to just slash, and they have this slash that comes out, kind of like when Zoro does it and he has this gush of wind, I guess you can say. It comes out the sword, and I feel like that's really crazy because how can that work? Maybe it's like wind Haki, would you say? Then you have Kinamo. Kinamo is very interesting because he can cut fire. Like he's literally using what I believe it's fire Haki, and because he comes from a place where devil fruits are like, what's it called? Magic, I guess you can say. Or they believe devil fruits are magic. Imagine if they had fire Haki, but to them it's normal or it's something different, or it's, you know, I really believe because Kinamo having being able to cut fire and whatnot, it's very strange because you can't just do that randomly. And apart from that, you also have Sanji, who of course uses fire with his kicks, and it's never explained really exactly how it works. Like they do explain some, but they don't go into detail. And assuming that Set used to be in the Grand Line, there is a chance that Set has basic knowledge of Haki, and then he taught it to Sanji. And Sanji, obviously, he might not know it's exactly Haki, but he does use it. And I mean, how many times have Zoro and Sanji gone against an actual Lugia? Then you have Brook, who uses ice, which is a very strange thing. And when I ask people about it, they just tell me, "Oh, Brook's dead. He's dead. So the reason he can use Haki is because he's dead," and blah blah blah. But it makes no sense because if he's dead, right? If he's dead and he uses the power of the underworld or whatever, shouldn't he be using fire? Because it makes a little bit more sense. Unless Brook has like elemental Haki, who just happens to be ice. Now let's go back to Zoro really quick. Have you noticed that whenever he does that attack with 3 swords and he summons the tornadoes, I can't think of the name right now of the move, it's wind. Not slashes, it's legit wind going around. That has to be elemental Haki. There is no explanation of why Zoro can just with all 3 swords and you have this vortex, wind, tornado, whatever you want to call it, dragon twist or whatever. How does that happen unless Zoro has elemental Haki, which just happens to be wind? And then you have, of course, Luffy, who used the Firehawk underwater. He turned his fist. Now let's remember, not only was Luffy underwater, but he's also made of rubber, right? And he just goes like this, and his fist just turns fire, and he hits Hody, and it's really weird because rubber and fire are not 2 things that will go together. And I think it'll be really cool if Luffy maybe has elemental Haki, and that's how he was able to do the Firehawk. And it makes a lot of sense because they can do the whole, you know, it's homage to Ace. Makes perfect sense. There's no property or any move that I can really think of why Luffy did the Firehawk. Some people like to say that maybe he stretches on so far back that the friction created fire, but when that happened all the times against Arlong, that should have happened with Don Krieg, it should have happened with Ano, I mean it should have happened a bunch of other times ago, but it just happened underwater just now. And that's what makes me feel like maybe there is such a thing as elemental Haki. It's been around us the whole time, and there is a chance that this could be an actual thing. And then of course we have my the best sample of Haki will probably be Sabo. During Dressrosa, Sabo literally used Haki on the arena, and then he used some type of wind Haki. He hit the arena and he cracked it. Sure, he cracked it. But then he put some type of energy on it, which could have been wind, because they actually show you wind Haki, or they show you wind. It doesn't have to be Haki. It's just that he used Haki to break the arena, to crack it at least, right? He went and he cracked it, right? And then a few seconds later, he uses the Dragon Breath attack, and the arena splits with wind, which is my biggest theory of why Elemental Haki might actually be a thing. Because if a dragon really is the strongest character in the One Piece world, or one of the most wanted criminals, he's gonna have to come up with his own thing. So maybe he has Elemental Haki. Maybe he's able to have different types of Hakis. Kind of like Virgo has full body Haki and stuff like that, and then you have other people. Maybe Dragon just has Elemental Haki. He's able to do fire, wind, ice, water, any of those Haki, any element. He could probably do it. Electricity, you know, you name it. I really feel like Elemental Haki is a thing. There's a lot of characters who have attributes that make absolutely no sense, like Sanji's legs, Zoro's wind attacks, Brook's ice, Kinemo's fire, Luffy's fire hawk. That's the biggest indication that something's up. Like I said, there's no way Luffy should be able to use fire. If anything, fire should be his weakness. But Sabo using that Haki, punch, claw, whatever you wanted, whatever he used on the stage, and then 2 seconds later he says Dragon Breath and the arena splits. That's the biggest indication that there is such a thing as Elemental Haki. And I feel like now that we're going to Wano Kuni, maybe when we go there we find out more about it. Maybe every sword, or the good swordsmen of this country can cut elements. Maybe they can put we know that you can put Haki into a sword, because we've seen 2 samples of it. We saw Zoro at versus Pika, where he put Haki into his sword and destroyed Pika. And then the other time we've seen it, which we didn't really see Haki in the sword, it was more Akainu when he was gonna hit Kobe and Shanks just hold off the sword, or his magma fist with one sword. Maybe there's either a sea stone prison sword, or maybe Shanks' Haki, it's that good that he was able to put Haki into a sword and block the attack. We will never know, but we do know that Zoro can put Haki into a sword. So why can't, if Elemental Haki ends up being a thing, that will explain why Kinemo can do fire, Brook ice, and so on and so on. So now, like I said, now we're going to Wano Kuni, so it wouldn't make sense if you have all, since Wano Kuni is a country that is secluded from the rest of the world, wouldn't make sense for them to have a ability or know the knowledge of Elemental Haki, and that's why it's very kept to them. Because to Kinemo, it's very common that he can just do the fire stuff, which is not very common to other people, and it makes no sense. So thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate this. Let me know if you believe there is such a thing as Elemental Haki. Comment down below and tell me if I miss anybody who used an element attack, who you believe has Elemental Haki, to help me support this theory. I hope this theory comes out true, because I would really love an explanation of why some of these characters can use elements so freely. Like I said, Sabo using his Haki and then using the Dragon Breath is a big indication that I really feel Elemental Haki might be a thing. So comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my other videos. Thank you for watching.